What's up, variants? How you doing? It's me, the real Manos. And it's been a few weeks since Spider-Man No Way Home has come out, and I figured I'd wait a little while before I talk about some specifics on the thing, so I don't have to really be worried about spoilers, because it's made almost $1 billion, and greatly increased COVID cases all over the world. But hey, you know, it's a cool film, so okay, I guess we'll just deal with it. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about it, and I was going to do like an opening joke where I have like different variant Manoses from other realities, but I literally have no budget for special effects, so that's it. And alright, I don't even have like a sponsor, for God's sakes. I'm gonna like do some editing trickery. Alright, so anyway, Spider-Man No Way Home. It's directed by John Watts, and starring everybody. Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, Marissa Tomei, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, J.K. Simmons, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire. Ugh, oh boy. Okay, anyway, the plot, you know what the plot is, where that bastard Mephisto revealed Peter Parker's secret to the whole world, and he gets in big legal trouble connected to what happened in London in the last film. But what's cool is, thanks to Matt Murdock, of all people, being a really good lawyer, he beats the rap, and it's fine. Except one problem: everybody knows he is Spider-Man, so that kind of like really damages his ability to kind of move on and start a real life with college and his friends, MJ and Ned. You know, by association, they can't really get to the next step in their lives. So that's interesting, because I figured going into this film that Peter would go to Doctor Strange to kind of get rid of the case, the charges and shit like that. But no, actually, their lives are ruined, and he kind of wanted to unruin them. So that doesn't go well, as you can tell. And actually, shit, you can see from the trailer, because Doctor Strange attempts it, and Peter keeps trying to cherry pick the spell and stuff like that. And that, of course, screws with the reality, and therefore variants from other realities kind of start popping into theirs. And I assume, because Loki and Sylvie destroyed the whole variant time police thing, that they're not interrupting the facilities, which would be fine, because that's a lot. That's too much. There's already too much in the movie, for God's sakes. So what's interesting is, let's see, Dr. Octopus, the Lizard, Electro, Norman Osborn, and the Sandman all kind of enter this reality, and they trap them. And Peter realizes these guys, most of these guys, die fighting Spider-Man. And if they just send him back, they'll just send him back right to that moment where they get killed. And he doesn't want to do that. And he feels kind of, since they're fighting other Spider-Men, that kind of makes him somewhat responsible. So he wants to do his best to save and protect them, even though he owes them nothing. They're from different realities. A couple of them are vicious killers trying to kill him, and he kind of goes about this. And of course, we get the scenes where it starts to kind of work for some of them. And Norman Osborn is Norman Osborn. And that scene where Peter realizes that one of them is a threat and really starts tuning in like a tuning fork. His spider sense, I think, is a really effective bit of dramatic storytelling, where he's going through the building. It's what's going on? Where's the threat? Where's the threat? And Willem Dafoe turns that Green Goblin shit on. It's just perfect. Now I'm going to basically do spoilers for the rest of the film. So if this has been too much spoiler talk, I'm going to really kind of get going. So you may want to stop here. Okay. I think they're gone. So Now, of course, that ensuing fight gets Aunt May killed, and she's hit by the glider. And actually, I think this is some really good writing as well as some top-notch acting, I think, because when she's hit by the glider, Green Goblin's glider, your instant, especially if you're a comic book fan, your instant thought is like, oh man, she's dead. And then she gets back up and she starts walking. It's okay, let's get to the hospital. And for a second, you're like, oh, I think she's okay. Maybe she just got hit partly with the glider and it just looked worse. And then she kind of falls down and Peter checks the wound and she's bleeding all over the place. And he starts to realize it. And we get that scene of her giving the responsibility speech. Great power comes great responsibility speech to Peter, which I think is a real effective way of building her role into this version of Spider-Man. And it's just such good acting. Tomei just sells that scene. And it's a really interesting death scene because she performs it as if May doesn't realize she's dying. Like, she's like, I'm going to get back up and we're going to be fine, and let me just get going. And Tom Holland is also playing it where he just secretly knows, like, oh, I'm losing her right now. I mean, it has a lot of immediacy where a lot of death scenes, comic book films or non-comic book films, tends to not have, where you can kind of like, okay, you can kind of feel it. You can kind of go through the numbers. But this one really did feel very active. I don't know. It just had a lot of weight to it, I thought. And that's, of course, when we're at our lowest moment. That's when we bring in the other Spider-Man. And I gotta say, a lot of people were really anticipating Tobey Maguire, but one of the joys is the big surprise about Andrew Garfield's performance as Spider-Man, which, I'll be honest, look, I liked him. I loved him as Spider-Man. I thought he was really good Spider-Man, and it's nice to see that kind of come around. Much like Brandon Routh's, also in a multiverse story. Weird. Brandon Routh kind of getting a chance to kind of circle back and kind of take a victory lap on being Superman. I think Andrew Garfield's had a chance to do that with this, where he's able to come back around and going, oh yeah, you know what, we loved you, I'm sorry. As the public, we're sorry. And he's very effective in this, and I love the dynamic among the three Spider-Men, where, of course, Tom Holland is the Peter Parker of his youth and kind of getting started. And let's see, Tobey Maguire is like the elder statesman Peter Parker, where he has been around, he's lived a life, and he's kind of, things aren't perfect. He's still kind of struggling, but he's kind of like gotten to a state of understanding and, kind of peace about it. And the middle child is the Andrew Garfield one, where he has been through some shit and has just gotten through it. I mean, he just got out of the other side. We're kind of seeing him in that period of his life. So essentially, it's a really smart way of using like the three Spider-Men, the three Peter Parkers, to kind of like show us different kind of like stages of Peter Parker's life without doing time travel stuff. It's really kind of cool. Let's see. Then, of course, man, what am I missing here? I got some notes here. There's some other things I wanted to bring around. Yeah, the acting, as I mentioned, like the acting from Marissa Tomei, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina is very good. Like the general cast, because Zendaya and let's see, Babylon, man, they're teenagers in this crazy ass situation, and they're trying to keep up, and they're very effective. They play that very nicely. I absolutely love their chemistry together, and with Tom Holland, and even with the other characters as well that keep jumping in. And holy crap! This is quite a bit. So this was a lot, and this sort of brings us to kind of like I don't want to say the end or the end of a journey for Spider-Man. It is kind of written as a way where it could be. We could stop here with the MCU Spider-Man or continue. And we've kind of like gone through a big phase with this character's life. And I keep hearing that Sony and Marvel are talking about doing more. So we'll see. You know, Tom Holland is a real guy who has to be in these movies. So I don't know if he feels like continuing. He seems okay. He seems kind of up for it, so that's cool. I would very much appreciate seeing more Tom Holland Spider-Man, especially from this point on, because there's been a lot of criticism about how this isn't really Peter Parker. You know, this is just Iron Man Jr. and shit like that, and Tony Stark's been his Uncle Ben and blah 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 blah. And this is kind of the end of a journey of Peter kind of like figuring out who he is, and he is very, and this is from the comics, he's a person that's been very seduced by wealth and fame, and that's just kind of like this thing that's been kind of bumping heads with him and his feelings of responsibility, and the fact that this like tragedy happened in his life is the thing that keeps him from doing it. And we've kind of been like leaning into that and leaning into him kind of trying to be like a hero for, fame, I guess, or something like that. And then kind of just really being clobbered by it. And that sense of responsibility really kind of hits home with him in the death of Aunt May. So we see, and it's symbolized really nicely with him putting on the final costume in the film, which looks like comic book Spider-Man, like no extra pieces. Like the Homecoming suit is pretty close to regular Spider-Man, but it's still a technical suit with an AI in it and has some pieces here and there. This one looks just like a suit, and that's kind of wonderful. It's a nice visual way of telegraphing that. I don't know if we'll see more of MJ or Ned. I don't know if their story is done and we're going to move on. It's written nicely in the way that it could be a stopping point or just the end of this chapter. So you can't tell, I really did enjoy this film. As a Spider-Man fan, it's got a lot, and it's got shit I never thought I'd see. I never thought I'd see the actors from the original Raimi films back. It's nice to see the actors from the Amazing series kind of like get another chance at doing these characters and having fun with it. I enjoyed it a lot. Jamie, there's so much to talk about. Like, really barely got to really talk about. Alfred Molina is very good in this. Jamie Foxx is very good at this. It's nice to see him kind of cut away all that other garbage that was put on him and just be this character. And he is really interesting. He's kind of quietly menacing in a way, which I liked a lot. There are just some scenes of him just talking to Peter Parker and some other characters, and he's just going to get up and kill these people, isn't he? Like, he's just, or not. I don't know. I really, really like him in this film. It's not as big as a role in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but, man, really effective. I just like him a lot in it. So, I think that's all I have to really say. It's quite a bit. I really did enjoy this film. I've really liked the Spider-Man trilogy so far. I'm up for more Amazing MCU Spider-Man. The home trilogy, I guess you could call it. I dug a lot. I think it was really neat. And maybe I'll talk a little bit more in a separate video about my opinions on this series and how I like the fact that it's been different than what you normally would associate with Spider-Man. So anyway, I would probably give this 5 out of 5 Ram Chips. It was kind of a home run. It was a lot of fun. We need to slow down on the multiverse stuff because I know we got another film coming. We might have more season of Loki. I hope Marvel continue to not let it dominate the whole thing because that could be a mistake, but we'll see. So yeah, 5 out of 5 Ram Chips. Enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of fun. If you don't feel like risking yourself, for the pandemic, I don't blame you. I was able to see it in a pretty quiet theater, and I'm double, triple vaccinated now, so the risk was low for me, but it can be higher for other people, so you can wait till streaming. frankly. All right, I think I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. So, hey, look, I hope you liked it. Leave me a comment in below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for all things Manos. You can support the real Manos and Manos Publishing at Patreon for just $1 a month. That's all I need, just $1 a month. So, cool, huh? All right, we good? We good? Okay, cool. I'll be talking to you later about some more comics, Hawkeye, and I got Mystery Science Theater coming up soon. All right, push the button, Lindsay.